Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about how to kind of prepare yourself for quartzite. And where to go to get some of your stuff that you're going to need if you have problems with your RV. And we'll just go this way first. We always have Reflectix. If you don't know what Reflectix is, it's like this tinfoil, insulated tinfoil stuff. And we put Velcro on the backside, on the corners, like up here on the window. So all we have to do, see how it sticks, is just put it right up in place like that and pull the drape. And that's going to help. That is going to help immensely on the heat when the sun is shining. And it helps when it's cold, really cold. And then we have a pillow that goes up in the skylight that is the same kind of material, but only it's about 3 inches thick. And then we have an auxiliary style heat, which is the buddy heater. Some people use little wall heater type things, gas heaters, that have real low voltage amp draw fans on them. And we just use that because we just have that fan on the top that we got on Amazon, that one of those heat fans that they make for it. When you're out in quartzite, it's a little different living. I mean, it's great. We love it. But you have to prepare yourself. Make sure you have a good water capacity with you. And, like our trailers has 120 gallons. If you have to refill your water, it's a pain in the butt to take and go and get water. If you have to take your camper and tear it all down and go to this dump station and get water, it's just, I'll show you here what we use to go do that. Okay, here's the bladder. This is a 60-gallon bladder, and you fill it here. You hook your garden hose to the faucet, and this thing just folds up. It just folds up. This is canvas, nylon. It's a canvas. And then you take, and there's a valve right on the other end, right here. You just turn this valve on or off. When you're filling it, you have it off. Then when you get back to the campground, this valve is off. When you go to fill it, okay, so the bag is just by itself. Then you hook this up to it when you get back to camp, okay? And then we have a pump, a 12-volt pump, and I just got this little pump off of Harbor Freight, okay? And then you have your hose that hooks to it. Your hose here hooks to it, and this end hooks to your camper. And then you have a switch. You can turn the switch on. I have a plug. I have a SAE plug at the end of mine, so I can back right up to my camper And it works out really slick because you don't got all them wires and clamps and all that crap hanging all over. You know what I mean? And that water bag fits right inside this little box. There's the cap over there, you can see. And then what I do is I take and hook it right up here to my water system. Okay, change my deals for power fill. And right down here, this stupid door, right down here is a plug right here where the SAE plug plugs into to get power. So that's what we do for our water. Okay. And now we'll walk back here to the back of the camper. And we have a portable dump tank that we put right in the back of our truck. Okay. And then what I do is I take a macerator and hook it up to my out my spout for dumping. And you better bring one of them with a generator, because you never know if something happens to your solar. If you got solar or no solar. And then another handy item to have is this right here. It's a gate valve that we put on right there on our dump spout. And just give me a second, I'll put it on there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that just goes on there and turns and locks on. Okay, now it's locked on, but what's so nice about it is, okay, you don't have all that dripping and all that mess down there. If you park for a while, we always put that on if we're out about in quartzsite. Okay, so here's my macerator. I take that pump out of the box. And I also have one of those SAE connectors on the end of this cord. Right here, which plugs into, get my sanitary out of the way, into there. Okay, so I have 12 volt current because it's a 12 volt pump. So I take my macerator back here and I hook it on to my gate valve, and then you hook your black hose on here. I call it my black hose because it's black and it's for the sewer. That way you don't get your hoses confused. And then you put that black hose, which is, excuse me, I'm about to hit my head on the top of the slide. This black hose right here. Okay, I bought the black hose on account of it's a black hose. And it's a bigger diameter than the regular garden hose. It's the same fittings on the end, but just a bigger diameter. So you hook it onto there, and then you take and put the other end, which goes in your caddy, your poop caddy, or whatever you want to call it, and I put that in the back of the truck empty. And then I put the hose, I parked the truck right back here, put the hose in that. And then on the top of that caddy, it's got a little gauge. When I start to see that gauge come up, I shut the pump off, and then I'll shut all my valves. The one in the coach in here, I'll shut that, and then I shut the gate valve. Okay? And then what I do is I turn the pump back on and let it run for a second, just to take and make sure the line is empty, you know. make sure that line is empty, because I don't want, you know, something dripping on the ground and whatnot, and it's just not clean. It's not cool. Other people don't got to smell your waste. And that's how we use the macerator. And I'll tell you what, it's better than taking that tank, hooking it on the back, and trying to take the big hose and hook it up to the tank to fill it. It's just a messier going the other direction than it is with the macerator. They're not that expensive. They're on Amazon. Everything you see I have is Amazon. I mean, 90% of it. So we'll go on to the next thing. Okay, yeah, I got this netting right here. It's kind of that see-through. It's a woven plastic netting. It's like a tarp. You get it on Amazon, and the wind goes through it so it doesn't rip it off. But I take them big clamps, spring clamps, like an overgrown clothespin, and I'll clamp it up on top, up there, above my fridge on the slide. I'll clamp it out, and it comes out about 4 feet. So it covers up just a little bit of the window. And then you pull it out at an angle from the top to the bottom about 4 feet on the ground. So you stretch it out 4 feet away from the camper on the ground, stake it in, and it shades your refrigerator. Because you see how that sun is beating on that? Those things have a hard time cooling. They really do. And then what I've done is, if I can get this turned just right, is I've put a little fan in here. A little blower fan. Okay, it's like a squirrel cage fan. And I put a switch over here on the side, right in here on the side. And then I just turn that fan on, and it's blowing out of here. It blows out of here up, okay? And it blows right straight up past all the cooling units when it's in the sun. And matter of fact, I'll put it on for today. And it just helps cool that back element. And it's amazing, totally amazing, how much cooler your fridge will stay, because it cools that element in the back. And then make sure you bring some tire plugs, you know, because that's some shard rock out there that you're driving on. And who knows if them people had fires. They put pallets in the fires, and you get a nail in a tire, whatnot. They do have tire shops in town, but a plug kit is a must. It's just a must to have, you know. But quartzite is the only thing you got to kind of be concerned about. If you get there earlier in the year, I would say October, maybe November. You know, of course, earlier than that are the rattlesnakes and scorpions. And I have seen some black widows out there in the past, but usually you're pretty safe the middle of November, beginning of November, December. You know, December for sure, you won't see any snakes, you know, until it warms up. And it's gotta warm up at a steady, you know, 85, 90 degrees before you might see one or two. But that's just like to me, you start seeing rattlesnakes. We had one underneath our carpet, our mat out in front of our camper one day. And, you know, we walked out and I heard him rattling, and he was under there. We just got him out. And that's just a sign that tells you that, hey, it might be time to leave if you don't want to deal with that stuff. You know, if you just don't want to deal with that stuff. And another very important thing to do out there is, before the show, I would do it. I would definitely go up on the roof and check all your vents, all your seams, everything for cracking, because you can buy Dicor, you can buy all that stuff at a reasonable price at the show, and then you can fix all that out there. You know, clean your um, around the gutters. I mean, around the vents and all that really good with mineral spirits, and then put the Dicor down. You have to clean it first, otherwise it don't do you any good. But we opted to go with RV Armor, and you don't have to do that anymore. I got a video on that. I got a couple of them. You can go through my list and look. And I tell you what, that stuff is amazing, amazing. You don't have to worry about getting up there. It just doesn't happen. I fly over with a drone, check for anything, and whatever. And if there's a problem, they give you a small little patch kit to get by until they can get out there and take care of you. But they always show up and take care of you. You know, it just saves you a lot of headache. You know, I know people that have little vans, camper vans, such as the people over here across. Okay, van life like that. You know what I'm talking about? They've put RV Armor on them fiberglass tops. They've had RV Armor come out and put them on the tops. But in here, I've got a telescoping ladder right there up inside my truck, and it's right up in there. And I'll tell you what, if you do have to go up and change a vent or change a vent cover, because the sun really gets that plastic brittle, and you get good winds out there in Quartzsite. You do get some crazy winds, and it will crack them, break them, because they just get to be like, I don't know, paper up there. I mean, they just fly apart all on their own. But just be careful for your surroundings out there. You are out in the middle of a desert. Everything will poke you, stick you, bite you. Just remember that. And you camp by yourself if you want to. That's great. But if you're not real experienced, kind of camp. If you haven't been there before, kind of camp near a group, so you can go talk to somebody, And then we always have our Berkey in the camper, because we take our water and run our water for drinking through the Berkey all the time. I mean, their water out there is good. It just has some salt minerals in it. So we run it through the Berkey all the time, and we haven't had no issues. And another word of warning, during the show, don't expect your cell phone or your phone service to be fantastic. They have good cell service out there, but during the show, there's 700,000 to a million people out there, folks, all in one little area. Not one little area, one big area, but the towers get cluttered. So be patient. Everything will work. We use Starlink. So far, we haven't had a lot of issues with Starlink. Starlink's worked really well out there. Our first year, we had a Wii Boost, and that didn't quite cut it. I'm not going to sit here and tell lies. But yeah, you just got to be prepared for stuff, and make sure you take and stake your mats. Stake your mats. We've got the lay flat. We've had good luck with that. And that is a different kind of a mat than what you would see at Walmart. It's kind of a heavy woven, but it's stuff goes through it, but it's thin, but it's heavy. It just drops on the ground and lays flat. That's why we call it the lay flat. And the wind don't seem to grab that as much. But make sure you take like your tables and put a bungee strap, small bungee strap or rope, and put a stake around the legs, you know. And you definitely want to stake down your solar panels. The solar panels are a must to stake down. See, they got the bars across the back. I buy these stakes that are extra long, and they got a hook on them. And you just hook them on there and stake them down. And then what I do is I take a rope and I put a small washer, like a fender washer, and I put a rope and I have the fender washer up here. So the rope comes up through the center here. Then I tie a knot and put the fender washer on right there. Okay, and then I hook a 1 gallon, fill a 1 gallon water jug to it. I hook a 1 gallon water jug to that and let it hang. And that seems to do a really good job. Because like I say, the winds out there can get crazy. Can get really crazy. And one more little tip. You might not want to camp near a wash, okay, a gully. A lot of people think that that's kind of a nice place to camp. Well, it's really not. It's really not the place to camp, because if we get them big rains, that water comes up fast through there. And another thing, if it's dry and everything's been dry and everything's good, you know where the desert rats hide? They burrow and they make holes, and they are always in them ditch lines, always in them little ravines. Wherever you see greenery, trees, whatever, shrubs, you're going to have desert rats. And you know what desert rats do? They build nests and chew on your wiring in your truck. We've had it where they put, I've got a video out on that too, where they filled my whole under my hood full of cholla cactus and chewed on wires. So we never, ever camp near one of them ridges, those washes. It's just not a good idea. But that's some more tips and tricks for quartzite. And remember, don't put your awnings out unless you have to, or unless you're monitoring them steady. You're right there, because you can get gusts of wind there that are just insane. Like, don't take your awnings and pull them out and go visit somebody or go up to the show, because you might come back and they're wrapped over the top of your camper. We came back one time and it literally knocked my table over, my grill off my table. Lawn chairs were gone. I had to chase my aluminum table here. This aluminum table, I had to go find that. And if you think that's BS, talk to some other people that have been out there. It's not. They do get wind gusts just out of nowhere. They call them downbursts, because it's when it usually happens towards evening, after it's been real warm during the day, when you get the thermals changing the thermals. But and then we have our buddy heater in there, and we use these Flame King. I refill these Flame King bottles. and I have a video on that, rather than sitting there buying them stupid green tanks. You know, it's just a waste of money. These here you just keep refilling and refilling and refilling, and they're a lot heavier, thicker product. So anyhow, I hope you appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys out there for watching and commenting. I really do, immensely. You guys have a great day and a blessed night. Thank you.